I picked up a brick and smashed it against the girl's head. After that, I took a picture and sent it to the client. The client smiled satisfactorily and praised me for doing a good job. But it's a pity for such a beautiful face. At this moment, I was sitting on the ground and sighing. Suddenly, the girl opened her eyes. She crazily twisted her wrist. After the rope was untied, she slowly got up and looked at me in a confused look. "Didn't you say you were going to kill me?" I pointed to the point that I was still bleeding. "I said that I was going to save you, so I broke my head. Otherwise, they would send someone else to kill you." The girl didn't have a shred of courage. Instead, she was dissatisfied. "But you did kidnap me." I was helpless. If I told her that I was a person with two personalities and the one who kidnapped her was my second personality, she wouldn't believe it. Then I suddenly found out that this girl was so cute. I suddenly blushed. The girl saw that I didn't speak for a long time and looked at me with concern. Are you okay?" I looked at the beautiful girl standing in front of me. I've been single for many years and my blood pressure is rising. I couldn't help but have a nosebleed. In the end, even the wound was bleeding. This scene scared the girl to faint. I had no choice but to take her home. I gently put her on the bed. I didn't expect that I would take a high school student home one day, and I became a kidnapper. I looked at the girl who was asleep, and I couldn't help but have a nosebleed. Will she call the police when she wakes up? But this little girl is so big-hearted. She was kidnapped and still slept so soundly. I don't care. I slept on the floor. I slept on the wall. I don't know how long it took. I woke up from a dream. The scene in front of me made my eyes bigger. I could only see that the girl's clothes had been pushed to her shoulder. I unconsciously swallowed saliva. What's going on? Did my second personality do it again? What should I do? Should I secretly go over and help her put on her clothes? Can you give me a trick in the comment section? I'm a pervert. I kidnapped a beautiful high school girl, but at the critical moment, I withdrew because it was another me who kidnapped her. Just a few hours ago, I got a part-time job delivering parcels. The boss gave me a reward of 5 million yuan. I pulled my messy hair. I thought the reward was so high. Could it be that I was transporting some illegal items? I lighted a cigarette and looked down. Suddenly, my expression was like a cigarette falling from my hand. My second personality appeared. When I woke up, I found a girl lying on the ground. Her hands were tied up behind her. Her mouth was also tied up. I couldn't help but go crazy. This is not a delivery. This is clearly a kidnapping. It was on the phone that the client called. I picked up the phone cautiously. The other party asked me how the thing was going. I said it was going very well. Then I asked the other party how to deal with this girl. I said that I looked at the girl with my corner of my eye. I almost peed when I saw it. I just saw the girl staring at me with a pair of blue eyes. I was so scared that my phone fell to the ground. I hurried to pick up her phone. In a panic, I looked at the girl again. I almost lost my life. I turned my head shyly. I was going to tell the other party that I didn't want to do this task. She was such a good girl. How could I bear to give her to those bad guys? But the other party's next words made me open my mouth. He said that 5 million yuan was just a deposit. After killing the girl, he would give me 300 million yuan. I couldn't believe it. That's 300 million yuan. It's enough for me to spend my life. I thought for a moment. In the end, I agreed to the other party's request. Although this is not a glorious thing, it's not the first time I've done a murder. I picked up the brick at the corner of the wall, then I slowly walked to the girl. I picked up the brick in my hand and said to her, "I'm sorry, little sister. I don't want to hurt you either, but the other party's conditions were too tempting. Don't blame me." I ignored the girl's eyes full of balloons. I smashed my head against her head. I fell to my knees and bled for a moment. I kidnapped a girl, but in the middle of the night, when I faced the scene in front of me, I was almost going crazy. I wanted to go over and help her put on her clothes. I can think of the girl suddenly waking up, think of me as a hooligan. I decided to pretend to be asleep, so when she wakes up, she won't doubt me. After half an hour, I opened my eyes quietly, but I found that the girl had changed her posture. This scene made my eyes red. In order not to lose my mind, I slowly went over and wanted to help her put on her clothes. As a result, if there was no accident, there would be an accident. The girl suddenly woke up. She was looking at me with her big eyes. I told her the truth on the spot. How should I explain to her this time? The girl sat up and took a look at her clothes. Then she asked me calmly, "What are you doing?" I explained to her in a panic, "Look at me." The girl yelled at me to be quiet. She said she was just uncomfortable in dirty clothes. She untied a few buttons on her own. I took a breath for a moment. I hurried to give her some clean clothes, let her go to the bathroom to change. A long time later, the girl walked out of the bathroom. She smelled the clothes on her body. She threw down a sentence with disgust.
The smell of a single dog. I ignored her disgust. I was going to send her home, but I thought someone wanted to kill her. If I sent her back now, maybe those people will find out. So I'm going to go out and help her find out. I told the girl what I was thinking and let her wait at home. She hesitated for a moment and nodded. I changed my clothes and was about to go out, but I suddenly thought of a problem. What if she called the police after I left? Although I didn't kill her, but I'm a kidnapper after all. I turned my head and asked a nonsense question. "Will you run away?" The girl was confused by my question. She shook her head and said she wouldn't. But I'm still worried, so I brought her a good thing. The girl was speechless for a moment. "Uncle, do you like this kind of game?" I kidnapped a beautiful high school girl. Someone wanted me to kill her, but in front of her big eyes, I couldn't do it. So I betrayed the owner and took the girl home. In order to prevent her from running away, I gave her a gift. Then I was going to go out and find out the enemy. But the scene in front of me made me stop. What am I doing? She's so pitiful, but I treated her like this. I'm a beast. I was thinking if I should torture her again. The girl suddenly looked at me. "Uncle, aren't you going to help me find out what's going on at home? Then why don't you leave now?" I quickly withdrew my thoughts and walked out of the house. I followed the address provided by the girl and found her house. At this time, the person who hired me to kill the girl called. This call made me discover a great secret. The voice in the phone actually came from the girl's house. That is to say, the stepmother who wants to take the girl's life is likely to be her family. I ran home quickly. I was going to tell the girl this news, but when I faced the girl, I didn't know how to say it. So I asked her name first. The girl's name is Yin Suea. I wanted to continue asking about her family situation, but the girl said weakly, "Uncle, can you open my handcuffs first? My arms are sore." I quickly touched my pocket, but the accident always came in such a hurry. That's right. If I didn't see it, the girl looked at me helplessly. That expression seemed to be saying, "You were teasing me." After dressing up, I found a big hammer. I used all my strength to smash it, but it didn't work. No matter how I smashed the handcuffs, it was perfect. I was so tired that I sat on the floor. The girl stood up and stared at me angrily. She suspected I must have been pregnant long ago. Then she used the excuse to help her take a shower and change clothes. She took the opportunity to do something evil. She said I seemed to be a pervert. I was helpless, but I couldn't refute it. At this time, I heard a growling sound. Then I realized that she hadn't eaten anything since this morning. So I took out the instant noodles that I had been hiding for a long time. Just a bowl of instant noodles was enough to make her drool. But when she reached out to add it, an embarrassing scene happened. Because the handcuffs were too short, she couldn't add it.